recording yet, so it don't even matter. And how
Okay.
it's recording. I mean, depending on who you ask, some people might want to
No.
see. No.
Nah.
I was also told to stop putting the air in my voice to make it lighter, and I need to talk normal. And I'm like, that's pretty whack. But I get it, because people be like, bro, how you talk normally is not what you do on the camera. And I'm like, well, try to make it good for the camera.
Can't relate.
Right. Huh?
Only got
Yeah.
one. I got one way. That's the East Texas way, baby.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, welcome to this episode of Pay the Soul Box. I'm Form.
I'm twin.
And appreciate y'all keep showing up. The few of y'all that show up, we appreciate every single one. Week in, week out. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and all of that for us. We appreciate all of y'all. Thanks for playing. Shop Champlain. Shout out to all those folks, that showed up. Shout out to Lynn with Tiff too. Definitely. Shout out to her and all that. Shout out to Chico, Clutch City Clothing. Shout out to everybody. Well, we had an eventful boxing weekend. One of these things made you extremely happy. Outside of the boxing weekend, do you have some news to share with us?
Yep. I hit the lotto.
You hit the lotto?
Not really. It's the opposite of the lotto. It's gonna be a kid to take all the damn money.
Let's go! Cheers, confetti, and all of that. I'm gonna figure out how to get some confetti graphics falling when I do the edit. Either way, we got a baby. So shout out to my boy. Gang. Dad gang. Hearts and all of that stuff. Hearts, stuff like that. All right. I guess we could just go ahead and knock it down, huh?
Yep.
Cue the intro. 3, 2, 1.
Southern.
I know you hate me. I absolutely know it. All right. Anyway, well, you got a wish that you have 100% always wanted, and since he decided that he did not really beat Jack Catterall, and Josh Taylor took his third loss in a row this past Saturday. Twin, I know that just breaks your heart for you to watch him lose. How do you feel today?
About time. Go ahead and call it up, my boy. Had a good career, But 147 ain't the place for you. I don't believe. That gas light came on in this last fight about the midway point. Well, it got punched on. Actually, it ain't just come on because he
I'm about to
ran out.
say, it ain't just gold. Let's give Echo Esserman his props for sure. Because I tweeted while we was watching the fight, it was more so Josh Taylor's talent, where Esserman did not have Josh Taylor's talent, is where Esserman had Josh Taylor's grit. Like, if talent and hard work and grit was right there, Esserman's grit was beating his talent for sure. Like, and that's what happened in that back half of that fight for sure. He just
So,
beat that man.
so this is where we can separate the in ring boxer from the out ring personality. Out of the ring, I'm not really a big fan of what I've seen from Josh Taylor, but in the ring, to be honest, he is a talented fighter.
Hmm.
especially when he was at 140.
Right.
Talented guy. I just think he's not the he's not the type of boxer, especially he's 34. He's not a young 34. He doesn't look like a young 34 in the ring. Um, I just don't think he's gonna he's transitioned well to 147. Um, Especially with his fights against Jack Catterall. He lost. Well, they said he won, I guess, but he didn't. This last fight, he didn't win. The first round, I really thought he was going to fare really well, actually, because the first round he caught him with a left, and I was like, oh, okay. And
The
then,
talent was there the first 3 rounds.
mhm.
Easy, real
and
easy.
I want to say it was in round. So like the first 4 rounds, I probably gave him the first four, but well, no, I think it was in the third. He caught him with a left, but then he got caught with a
I think I
right.
had it 3. I had it 3-1 the first 4. I want to say.
Yeah, he got caught with a right with like 10 seconds left. I think he stumbled into the ropes. Like they were trading. They were trading lefts
Mhm.
and rights a lot. But yeah, I don't know where he goes from here. Actually,
Yeah, very very excited. It was a very exciting fight. Let me not take that from Josh Taylor. It was entertaining. Where Esserman, uh, man, he worked hard. You could tell. You know, you can tell when fighters have great training camps. And that right there was a moment where you could see a fighter. I had a great training camp. I believed I was going to win this fight no matter what. And that's what showed up on Saturday for Esserman in the ring. He wasn't going to be denied no matter, like you said, they traded blows, they traded hurt back and forth with each other. And he kept digging down Josh Taylor's body, digging down, punching on the shoulders, punching on the elbows, just hard work, outwork. That's the main thing he did. He meant to outwork Josh Taylor, where he, not to say he didn't think he was as talented, but he knew I can outwork this man and I can win this fight. And that's exactly what happened. Like
yeah,
you said, Josh Taylor did not win against Jack Cut. Nobody thought he won against Jack Catterall the first time. Now he's like 3 straight losses here. And then the other thing that Josh Taylor is he's a victim of his own ego and stance at this point. And you can't tell me different because you in the last 3 to 4 years, you've only had one fight a year. You ain't getting no consistency when yourself. You're not even building your own skill by thinking, oh, I just got it lined up and I'm just good to go from that point. So
yeah. He
yeah.
like the I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was injuries or what, but after he beat Regis with some debate, he went from like calling out Bud Crawford when Bud was at 147 to just nosediving in his activity, and I don't know what happened with that.
Yeah, and then like you said, a lot of people were even questioning the Regis fight because that Regis fight could have went either way. That was just a tough fight at 140, which was a very good fight. It deserved everything it got for the Super Six tournament finale for sure. So that was definitely, but like you said, well, he showed up against Jose Ramirez in a follow up fight. So I can't take that in a shocking turn of events. I nobody thought that was gonna go, but then from that point on, everybody else just did not show up. So where he goes next at 147,
I don't know, and for him, it's probably unfortunate because he probably if he would have won, I'm pretty sure he easily could have got a To or a Devin or somebody like that.
oh for
They
sure,
would have been
for
looking for
sure,
that fight.
he could have had a rematch with Tio for sure, easily. I mean, still would have lost, but easily had a rematch or a Devin fight, like you said. So, but also on that card, right before that, the co-main event, Moses Utama, Mr. Heavyweight himself, Mr. Young 20-year-old female, decided to finish a fight in 2 rounds again. As he sits around, not sits around, he is active as he patiently waits his time out until the belts become free, until Usyk and Dubois have their rematch, and depending on whatever Usyk does after that. Um, Do we have a good? We still don't. To me, I see the talent that everybody else sees, and I'm not taking that from it at all. The boy got talent. Do we have a good litmus test to say that he is the height of the talent though?
No, and that's the one thing I'm not worried about. He's only 20, so I'm not worried about it. But so he's 12-0, and his 12 fights, 10 of them have ended in the second round or sooner.
Mm-hmm.
Like at one point, on one hand, you getting your competition out of there, that's great. On the other hand, when that fight comes and you get into middle or deep waters, are you gonna know how to react? Are you gonna get discouraged? Are you gonna be like, "What's wrong with me? This is not what I do." Or are you gonna think,
Mm-hmm.
"Well, he's a professional too. This is how it's supposed to go when you step up in competition." Like what is gonna look like when he does? But I think they need to try to find him some more rounds.
Edgar Berlanga. We found out what happened after those 18 first round KOs, and then you showed up in there with a journeyman that, are you really like that? And all of a sudden, that power ain't too powery no more,
Mhm.
you know. Uh,
'Cause
but
the one
for right now, we see what we see, and we see, okay, you handle it. You look good in the shape that you're supposed to look good in handling business. I mean, you the oldest looking 20-year-old I know, but you look good. You look.
motherfucker, you look 30.
Hey, but he like you said, he is out there, but he is out there handling business. There's not a lot of American journeyman heavyweights to test him to see where he's at. So that's something to be said for that. But we won't know what he's really got until he gets. Apparently, they're trying to do the Martin Bacoli whatever on that. But I mean, if Billy Nelson want to waste Martin Bacoli again, then that's whatever at that point.
That how do you turn
They should let me
how
train
you
him. Told y'all. I
like
told.
just think about the turnaround we talking about here. It was what 2 fights ago where Bacoli was about to start fighting for a belt, or was at least mentioned for it, and
I
then
told
now
y'all. Should let me train him. I
and
told him.
and because it started when you raised your hand to take a money grab fight and you got knocked out.
Dumbest move I have ever seen.
Like, and that's the case of taking money over your career and where you was going. Like he had momentum, and he
Had it
stifled it,
all.
showing up to a fight out of shape, overweight, just for a paycheck. And now look what's happened.
Terrible, terrible situation. And if they get him in there with Moses, one, we'll see. We'll see. It ain't on Moses. If they do happen, Frank Warren and him are 100%. I mean, if you a heavyweight, you're going with Frank Warren. That's all I can say. So,
Man, the one thing I like about Moses, for one, like I like when a younger fighter, especially a southpaw, is in there with another southpaw early, and that's who he fought for. His last opponent was a southpaw. Shout out to him. I looked him up, and he was
he's Lou DiBella's boy. He can fight.
yeah, he's older. I think he's like 41, but he was
Yeah.
a free agent signing for like the 49ers, the Cowboys, the Buccaneers. So he played football first, so that's how he ended up starting late. He only been boxing like 10 years. So
Oh, okay.
so yeah,
Well,
shout out
shout
to
out to
him.
him.
But
Shout out to him for even getting into that position.
hmm but
So, I knew he was
but
Lou DiBella. I knew he
Moses,
was Lou DiBella's boy. I didn't know how far back his athletic career went. So,
hmm
so shout out
but
to Lou and him for sure.
but one of the things I liked about the last fight is how Moses ended it. I mean, he ended it with 2 right hooks basically. So he's using, it's not even the left. Well, the left got his first knockdown, but the last 2 was the right. And and it was with pressure coming into his face, and he didn't rush it. He didn't panic. He took
He
a step
just
and just
stood there right there and chunked it. Oh, the last knockdown was just a consequence of the one that was before that because it
mhm.
just finished it. But woo, what a time, what a punch. That's all I can say is what a punch. So shout out to Moses and sorry to your favorite Josh Taylor. Oh
Jeez.
man, I'm just pointing out the obvious. All right. Uh, also Saturday in Japan, Saturday night / morning, however you want to word that. Your boy Angelo Leo went to Japan and defended his belt thoroughly against Tamika Kamita in a very good fight. Not necessarily a boxing match. That was just a good fight for sure. Um, that showed his grit. That showed he kind of did belong to be able to perform and away from home like that. In that arena against the Japanese fans, being just sometimes all that can get away from you as you get over there. Uh, so now he solidifies himself as for sure a real champion by defending that belt in the 126-pound division. Now you made a point earlier before we was recording this saying that he said he was ready for it in a way.
That's what he said.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. He might be right. And I say he might be right with the amount of aggression that he fights with for that. Because he didn't back down from Kamita at no point in that fight.
Mhm.
Uh, Also in that 126-pound division, waiting on in a way is Bruce Shoo Shoo Carrington, Rafael Espinoza, Rosie Ramirez, and the wrecking Nick Ball. Um, all right. So where should Leo go here? Obviously, does he wants another champion? I'm probably sure to clean out the division. The WBC belt's gonna come available now. That Oshaki Foster and Stephen Fulton are gonna fight next at 126, so that'll be vacant. Um, so who does he fight for that vacant belt? Or who do you think he can fight for that vacant belt?
Shoot, I let him go with his plan. He said he want the monster.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Well, we know he ain't getting that.
I'm just
Monster
saying.
and Mr. Nakatani's gonna my in a way got MJ coming up later this fall, right? And then he got Nakatani after that. I mean,
The one name in that class that probably sticks out is just because his age and what he been showing is probably Shoo Shoo. Um, it's only
yeah.
but so long you can hold off a talent like that without trying to see what he has on the championship level. Um, because he's,
I think Ball sticks out further than Shushu.
I mean, yeah.
Considering he does have a win over Rankin Ford to win that belt at 126 pounds. And he's just it's an entertaining fight. European people love him. They had him on. Obviously, the Real season guards. So that'll be a good place for Leo to probably get a fight and try to unify. That'll be two belts right there, a belt each on the line. WBC vacant. Yeah, seems good to me.
Makes sense.
Right. But then you got Rafael Espinoza. So where does Shushu fit in? Oh,
Shit. Now you going now we got to get into politics because now it's gonna depend on promoter, who got the belts, who don't want to lose the belts, who can get whatever fight with whoever. And then you always got some fighters talking about stepping up a weight class if they can get this fighter or that fighter. So It kind of depends. It depends on what priority they set for Shushu.
Uh,
If they see him as a star, then he's more likely to get it. But if they just see him as a good, boring fighter that don't have star quality, then
but I'll give Shushu this credit. He's been pretty good behind the microphone if you let
Mhm.
him get behind there. And he decided, and he was in the movie with Willie Pep and them. They had him in the movie on
he
Netflix.
he's also active on social media. He does TikToks and stuff like that.
He got TikTok? Oh, I got to go look at that.
Whereas you have other fighters that's too cool, I guess, or
which is
just
which is which is in a sense okay. But if you
yeah,
know, like you
just
said, if you're gonna build star quality, show me your star quality. But
and,
also don't be a clown. Like
mhm.
don't be an idiot with your star quality. Like go be actually entertaining. Have some personality. Have some character. Show me you got a real character to match. So I don't know, but good fight to Angelo Leo. Shout out to you, my guy, for going over there and defending your belt against a very tough comedian because that was not an easy fight at all to go over there and get. So man, shout out to you. All right, this Saturday on Amazon Prime, free for all you Amazon Prime members, Prime Video. Caleb Plant versus Resendez and Jamal Charlo versus Mr. Lamont. I had to say it right because I almost said Jamil. It is not Jamil. It is Jamal. We have the return of Jamal Charlo this Saturday on Amazon Prime. Um, for the main event of Plant and Resendez, we know what Plant is. We know what is in Plant's tool bag. Thank you to Trevor McCumbee for showing us that Plant's bag does still dig deeper than what some people, you know how they like to say that, once a fighter loses, he ain't nobody now. Okay, the Plant is actually absolutely somebody. And real skills. Plant lost to Canelo or lost to David Benavidez don't mean nothing. Um, how do you see Resendez faring in this fight against Caleb Plant?
uh, I mean, I think he'll do okay. I don't see Caleb losing. Um, to be quite honest, once you get above like 154, just to cut off a weight class, it's not really that many boxers more skilled than Caleb, in my opinion.
Hmm.
And to beat Caleb, if the past is showing anything, you a
You
lot
got
of
to be
people
special.
you have to outpower him. Like if you look at Canelo fight, he was outboxing Canelo. He was outboxing David Benavidez, but they
No question.
outpowered him at the end. Like they eventually chased him down, slowed him down, outpowered him. But like far as getting outboxed,
Yeah, nah,
Resendez not.
skill for skill. There is no skill for skill. There's not. You're not beating Caleb Plant. Skill for skill. Power is not like you said. You can outpower him, and power is not a skill. So, but skill for skill, nah. Yeah, Caleb Plant is 100%.
I,
Uh,
I also I also think he's in a groove, and especially after the McCumbee fight when he showed a different layer in the inside game. I think his confidence is probably so high, and he's in general seems like a very confident person. He seems like very motivated, has his wife and his daughter and things like that that he uses as motivation. Um, and he you don't see him like a lot of boxers have a lot of different things going on. I'm sure he has businesses and other things like that, but like he's focused on boxing. He wants to fight the best. He wants to fight, and that being that driven, I don't really see. I mean, anything can happen in boxing.
for
Any punch
sure.
can
But
land, but
you brought up a very good point. He's not somebody even after the losses he did take. He could have easily been in that fight with McCombie after getting hurt multiple times in the first few rounds of that fight, and he could have shied away and tried to stay away from it. But
Mm-hmm.
his mentality, who he is, who as a fighter and probably a person, showed directly up in that screen at that moment, and I mean in the ring at that moment, and him pressing to McCombie just let everybody know, like, nah, you can probably kill the body, but you cannot kill this man. You know, yeah, he might be 1,000% right high because not only did he probably show something to us as the world, but he probably added something else to himself too and said, you know what, boy, you was really like that. And that's dangerous and tough to fight a fighter that who thinks that. Bernard Hopkins talking about his loss to Roy Jones Jr. You know, yeah, he lost to Roy. He like he said, Roy Jones Jr. outclassed me, but look at my record after I lost to Roy Jones Jr. And he is absolutely right. Caleb Plant went from Canelo, one fight in between David Benavidez. Cool. He took 2 losses out in that time frame. That's cool. But look at how he's finishing these fights leading up to this point again.
And he deserves credit for that, especially in this day and age in boxing when everybody's scared to lose their O. I'm not really not to like pick on any fighters, but just to mention some names. Like we saw what losing the O did to Adrian Broner.
Mm-hmm.
We saw just a while ago Munguia after he lost to Canelo. Now he's in the ring. It looked like he's searching for himself. He's trying to change up things. Like you can see that ruin a fighter how they come back off a loss or make it to where they want to change so much that they change for the worse and they don't
Mm-hmm.
look the same. But Plant, he is taking L's and he looked
He looking better
just as
each time
good
we
or
see him.
better. Yep.
Looking better each time we see him. But that's the whole thing. You have to stay active. You have to go fight. There's the formula of fighting. People think I get it. These guys are getting paid more than what the previous guys did get paid to a sense and to a point. But the thing is those guys are better fighters because they fought. They didn't get out of the actual competition groove. Your training and your sparring groove is cool, but the competition groove, keeping that once you turn that switch on, keep it on. You know, basketball players, football, NFL players, that switch has to stay on for them throughout the whole season. There's no, I'm gonna turn it off tonight. Nah, you got it's game time every day out here, bro. And so Caleb has shown that I'm gonna continue to keep learning. I'm gonna continue to keep developing by staying active. And either you meet me here or I'm gonna beat you when you show up. So shout out to him for that. Um Now, the co-main event, Charlo and LaManna. We got a ring return of Jamal Charlo against Mr. LaManna, who has been on a good KO streak his last 3 to 4 fights. And if for those of you who might remember who Thomas LaManna was, he got knocked out in the first round by Average Landy Lara at 160 pounds when they both were at 160. Please don't ask me where Average Landy Lara got a first round KO from because that's what I got to answer that. So, with that being said, though, Lamont, like I said, Lamanna is on a winning streak roll. Charlo is returning from a forever layoff. Uh, what are we looking for before we get into Lamanna? What are we looking for from Jamal Charlo?
Oh, brother.
Mm.
Well, for one, I'm looking for him to make weight.
Mm-hmm.
For
Mm.
two, I'm looking for him to do the ring walk
Mm-hmm.
because them the most two, damn, they're the most two important things. That he just has to get there.
Well, we here
Once
now. We fight week now, so we cool.
I mean, hopefully, but yeah. But after that, I don't know because I don't want to set the bar high like he's been an active fighter.
Right.
At the same time, he's just not fighting a top contender or anything like that. But it, I will say he can't lose this fight. Not if you want to keep boxing.
I
Like
agree.
if you lose this fight, it's one thing to lose the fight, but to have the laugh he had, and he is not his brother. His brother is has had more
Undisputed
success.
ruler. Yep.
His brother's had more success in the ring. His brother has been undisputed. His brother fought Canelo. So even with his inactivity, if he loses, is less of a sting. Maul, he can't because he's been so inactive. He has to come out, and I don't want to say he has to look spectacular, but
Nah,
if
he
you
has to
talk,
look spectacular. I can't
it,
even bullshit that. He has to look spectacular, bro. That you have to show up, and one, we need to see is Jamal Charlo's power still there? One. Two, how sharp is your boxing? Because even in the last show we saw him, it was not sharp. It was. I mean, that's just is what it was. It was not sharp. He does have to look spectacular next. It just is what it is, bro. There are. This is obviously a for both men. Plant Charlo to settle that beef between them. We know they don't like each other. Ain't no ifs ands or buts about that. Uh, he has to look spectacular. That's just it, bro. And there's nothing else to be said. He has to look spectacular because we have to want prime PBC. They want to see the fight between Caleb Plant and Jamal Charlo simply because the video of him slapping. Like, fam, go settle that. That ain't boxing beat. That's real beat. Go settle that. He has to look spectacular. My expectations are high. Not gonna lie to you. That's it.
I
Straight
don't.
up.
Maybe mine is probably because I don't. I just really don't have no faith in him. Like to be honest, like he's
Because
been
you don't know. Because we don't know.
he's been out for so long, and on top of that, like Lamont is not, like I said, he's not some top contender or anything like that. But what he is a live body and a
Yep.
puncher. And with that being said, in this sense, boxing is no different. Lamana sees the headlines. He sees who Charlo's supposed to fight after he wins. He can see the Vegas odds, and it's no different than in a football playoff game when you playing a team that's out of the playoffs. That team looks over there. Oh, if we beat them, they don't make the playoffs. Bet we about to ruin something.
Michael
Same
Bent and
mentality.
Tommy Morrison. Bent went in there and then sat him down real quick.
Yep.
So, yeah, he see it. He see it. So I do need to see a better version of Jamal Charlo from the last time I saw him out. Ain't no thing
Definitely.
about it. So I do have high expectations. I'm not sorry about that. No way, boy. Ain't no way. This Friday in Las Vegas, Golden Boy, our boy Darius DFG Fulgham versus Beck the Bully More to Life. Oof, more to live. Ooh, boy, that's the name on him.
Yeah, don't look at me.
And we know you and names ain't happening. I ain't even gonna hold you that. All right, so here we are. All right, here's Darius on the rise. Beck, who has seemed to learn uh semi to the mistake he made against Gabriel Rosado a couple years ago, jumping in. Beck has done better with jumping in. However, his last fight with David Stevens, he got a split decision in that fight. Um, Beck still does things like keeping his hands down in close range in front of guys and things of that nature. He is more squared up. He is not fluid at all. He looks big for the weight class, but it's not in shape big. If that kind of what I'm saying, it's like the in shape chubby kind of kid.
Hmm.
for the weight class. But I don't think he has the gas tank to necessarily for this fight. Um, what do you see before we really dig into this?
Uh, I'm gonna go back and watch some more, but I think as far as how I think it's gonna, one of the ways it probably will play out, I think Darius is gonna be able to out athlete him.
Okay.
Um, just off of movement alone, the way Darius can move, I don't think
Hmm.
Beck is gonna be able to be as effective in spots as where he would be if somebody was just to stand there and just say, "I'm not moving at all," or "I can't move."
Hmm.
Um, so I think that pretty much would be made probably the one of the stories of the fight at least.
Yeah, I think Darius is gonna have one thing for sure is that I think Darius is gonna fight specifically this fight a little bit different. And I say that because of where Beck still continues to hold his hands, and that's down right in front of it. Right, he still tries to flicker. He does. He has a habit, just like Leo Santa Cruz has a twitch habit. Right, twisting his gloves before he punches. Beck has a thing of getting his hands here before he gets ready to punch. That's where he ends up getting hit at a lot of times, getting caught at in the punches in that range, because he thinks he can just take everybody's punch. Right, he may not double step jump in anymore, where it's just law reckless abandon after Gabriel Rosado sat him down. But however, he still has a lot of bad habits leading up to that point to get to that thing. Where Darius's upside here is Darius's activity. Darius' gas tank goes nowhere. That's one thing we can say in all his fights. For some reason, the boy's gas tank goes nowhere. Uh, that's where I think it could be the advantage there is. Now, the advantage also because of Darius's go style, Beck could have some success right there. There are punches available for him, like we talked about before in Darius's problem, previous fights, where he'll come in and he'll end up smothering his punches and dropping.
Mm-hmm.
Is that an issue that could be plus Beck from that point into the fight?
It could be. Uh, Darius is smart. So
Very.
I think, yeah, literally he's smart. Um, but I think he knows that about the smothering part of it. If I was Beck, I tell you what, you know, I wouldn't just sit there and think I'm gonna just take Darius punches. Be damned.
Yeah, there's nothing to suggest that he should, right? Especially after Beck just came off of, like I said, a 12 round split decision victory with Stevens or somebody who's not Darius's talent.
Hmm.
Stevens was just knocked out prior to fighting Beck. You know what I'm saying? It's not like it was the toughest outing for Beck. It was supposed to be one that was, here's another showcase, highlight, possibly highlight knockout reel for you. And then you struggled out there, right? Like we talked about with Berlanga earlier, where as soon as they put so loud body in front of you, now all of a sudden you ain't got it no more, right? You step up in talent, Gabriel Rosado sit you down. And then we put you in there with all these other folks, and then you just a few of them you got out of there. But now it's like, dang, bro, you really struggling out here.
Hmm.
Um,
The one thing is not necessarily a worry, but it's a reality. Darius is a younger. He's on the come up. So
mhm.
as he increases in competition, these will be stages he's never been on before. So
Yes,
with that is that's the anxiety, that's adrenaline rush, that's maybe acting out of character, playing to the crowd. It's things like that that you see out of younger fighters that I hope he's able to overcome and sort of tame himself and not get caught up in those things. But that is things, and that's why they say the lights are bright or the lights got
the
too
light
bright.
and these lights are really bright because all of the lights are on you now. Like, not Darius has been a main event fighter before, but the stakes are a little bit higher now. Now this is a title eliminated. Hey, you here now? That
Yep.
means you are ain't no crossroads no more. Like you at the road. Both of y'all are at the road. Who's gonna cross the line? There's a lot of things at stake here. Darius is here on a faster pace than a lot of his predecessors. Just like or let me say the rest of his colleagues in a sense, however you want to, they all, even though they all in different promotions, the rest of his weight class, he's in now. You jumping up immediately to this same position. Now you up there with the Christian and Bills. Now you finna be up there with the Pacheco's. You finna be up there with some folks now. You're up here now. Berlanga is also going to become an option for you here soon, because there, after you get this title eliminated, there's only one person got all the belts. So it's like, hey, you here. That's a lot. That is a lot for a fighter to think about, even when they're not supposed to think about it. Simply put, for man, am I really gonna do this? Is this really gonna happen? What is life gonna be like afterwards? Man, I'm finna start making some real money. That's a lot to think about. And then when you win this title eliminated, now your family bothering you, get ready for the fight. Probably because you finna be a champion. Ken Funk, you finna be a champion. Nephew, you finna be a champion. That's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot on a lot of people. That's a lot.
Yep. So, I mean, like, Darius belong there. So as long as he believes that and he knows that, I think that that'll help him fare better. One of the things that you kind of talk about indirectly or directly is, like we said, he's moving up in talent that he's
Mm.
facing. So that usually means, for the most part, he's fighting older veteran fighters. With that, now you have to start watching for more traps. Is he really hurt, or is he hurt to the point to where he's trying to get me in a position so he can get off this uppercut or this check hook, or whatever he's looking for?
Not even is he hurt, is he backing out of the way and not throwing this particular punch for a reason.
Right.
He ain't threw his right hand in 2 rounds. Okay, he ain't threw this particular punch in 2 rounds. I'm trying to get him to throw this punch, why is he not throwing it? You
And
know,
and the reason why I said I mentioned hurt first is because of what we talked about in the past. Darius has smothered some punches when his opponent was hurt. Now you get to the point to where this is a crafty veteran where he's not really that hurt and he's just waiting. So,
well, he's been there already. He's been hurt before, so his body can react a little bit better being hurt. All right, I know I'm hurt, but I know he finna come, and let me go ahead and get this off while you're right here. Take that with you, But all the list this Friday in Las Vegas, it should be a fantastic fight. Should be.
with all that being said,
Darius Fulton wins.
Darius, knock his ass out.
Please, please, please knock his ass out.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we've all seen the meme. Let's just go ahead and, what is your one boxing take that would have you standing one deep versus the world?
There's no such thing as running in boxing.
Okay. All right. That's okay. That's true. Unless you
Unless
literally turn your back.
you turn your back and you actually run.
Because for in boxing, or in life, for every action, there is a equal and opposite reaction. If somebody
So
runs, somebody can stop them from running.
so that there's no such thing as running in boxing. That what there is your opponent or the person that you're rooting for didn't cut off the ring and make them fight the style that you wanted them to fight. What there also is all boxers have the choice. Any boxer could decide to make it. They can make it a brawl. Like all boxers can do that. But is it in my best interest? Is it in your best interest to have, I don't know, Shaq shooting threes? No, he could technically, because anybody can shoot one. But
You
is it in your
can
best
do it.
interest?
Are you good at it is another story.
Exactly. So it's really no different. Like somebody should have cut off the ring if you don't like the running that's going on.
I can agree with that wholeheartedly. I just call people stupid. That's what I just like calling people stupid. That's my favorite thing. You're stupid. And I can't even say ignorant because you're stupid. Because you're stupid because the information and the knowledge is right there and you choose to not purposely go get it. Coaches and fighters tell you exactly what things are, and you willfully make choices to ignore what they say and tell people that they're wrong. Who do the thing that is entertaining you? You're stupid.
Mhm.
You're a dumbass.
Let,
You
let's just
deserve
let's
you
just
deserve
understand.
everything stupid in life.
Let's just understand that boxing is it's a sport. You have game plans in sports.
Mm.
Um, Whether you believe it or not, like you have a game plan how you're going to approach a hole in golf. You have game plans in
That,
football,
that's
basketball.
a good one.
Like
How you're gonna approach a hole in golf. That is a good one. That is a
so
fantastic comparison.
so if Foreman is my coach and I'm in the ring and Foreman tells me, all right, this is a 12 round fight. I need you to move and keep moving for the first 6 rounds because he's gonna get tired. And then after that you can settle down. That's called a strategy. So for the first 6 rounds, you can sit at your computer and cry and say, he keep running. But it's in my best interest to keep moving and see what openings come open and what I can take advantage of and see if this fighter's in the condition to keep up with me. If he's
Correct.
not, that's not my fault.
Nope. That is not. That is a consequence. Is what we call that. Like you say, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. Now I know some of y'all struggled with that in high school, not me, but hey, some of the basic laws of physics work in boxing. That's
Look,
all I'm saying.
like some of this shit is stupid. Like moving is no different than throwing a punch in a sense of like was people getting mad saying like Lennox Lewis all he do is jab. Like what are we talking about here?
I'm supposed to. What else am I supposed to do? I'm making the fight easy for me. I don't give. I'm supposed to make it hard. You need to do more than jab. Why? I mean, outside of the man he was doing, cussing him out for not throwing his right hand, but you know, which I totally get. But then was like, yeah, all right, man. Well, I get to it when I feel like I'm ready to get to it. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, that's true. He'll get to it when he feels perfectly comfortable to get to it.
Mm,
Uh, he usually did get to it outside of Klitschko fight, but you know,
but
there's
let me
like you said, it ain't no such thing as running, bro. Go to your local boxing gym and then go figure out if somebody calls it running. Just that's all I can say. Go figure out if somebody calls it running. In professional prize fighting boxing, go figure out if somebody calls it running. Go figure it out. Because if they don't call it running, shut up, bro. That's all I gotta say. Shut up. You're stupid. And I'm gonna continue to keep all the people stupid. It's not gonna change, bro. People are stupid. My boxing take is my one take, which is one thing I've always said from the beginning. Nobody should be a judge slash and or referee without fighting experience. Easy. I will always stand that ground. Uh, because simply whether you don't even have to be the greatest fighter or nothing like that. You can have guys with there are plenty of journeymen with losing records who know so much more about boxing than guys who wear championship records. You know what I'm saying? Bomac. Bomac was a cat. That was me and Bomac about what as it comes. Well, no, I got a winning record, Bomac though. But Bomac's brain obviously works better as a coach than it did as a fighter. He learned the game. So Bomac, even if he didn't coach Terrence Crawford, I would obviously respect him enough if he was a referee or a judge because why? he had the professional fight experience. I think there should only be judges with at least 10 fights, at least 10 professional fights to be a judge. That's how I feel. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think at least 10 professional fights and you can be a judge. Outside of that, don't talk to me. And if for the people on the internet, that's why I don't go back and forth with a lot of people. You at least give me 5 amateur fights outside of you because you was in the gym with us. But most people give me 5 amateur fights or show me you've been covering boxing because the only thing that you dummies don't know, you can I can make a high point for a fighter. Oh, you a fanboy. And they try to go blah 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 fanboy, Earl sexual, Bud sexual, Canelo whatever they want to say because they don't know how to talk boxing. It's just that stupid. You don't know boxing because you never fought, so don't talk boxing. I go for
So
the reporters and all of them. I don't even use shit.
so here, Foreman is the former fighter. So you casuals or whatever, y'all come here real quick. Let me explain something. So this is why in your brain you probably trying to equate what Foreman says to other sports, and this is why it doesn't mesh. When you talk about football, basketball, hell, tennis, golf, track, it's the results are defined by the points.
Mm-hmm.
So I can go call a tennis match because I need to know the lines and if the ball was out, and then we can see who scored and blah blah blah. I can go to the golf course because I know how many holes it is. I know how many times you get to hit on this hole to be par, under par, over par, blah, blah, blah. In
Mm-hmm.
boxing, you can't look at CompuBox and say this person outlanded this person. So
Oh my
fight.
god, CompuBox was the worst thing that ever happened in boxing.
Right. So you can't, it's no points in boxing. You have to know either one, you have to do your research and look at boxing and try to understand boxing, talk to different people and know what you're talking about. Or 2, have been in there and understand what it feels like to get punched on, understand what that boxer is going through, understand what it looks like, ring generalship looks like, and things like that. But if not, you just won't get it. Like, you'll just judge off of your style or your preference, what you like to see and not what it actually should be. And that's part of the problem with, that's a small part of the problem with the judges. The other part is corruption
That is a huge man.
And other promotional companies and people with money under the table. We ain't got to get into that, but
I almost cussed real bad for that one. It is a problem for the judges because judges have preferences, style, and judges aren't supposed to have preferences. It's just that's the problem. Judges are not supposed to have preferences. I know I have a preference of what I like to see from a fighter. I'm very much so well aware of that. I also don't knock if somebody does something different too. Multiple things have to be true at one time as it relates to judging a fight. There is no infinite one-all be-all. If that's the case, a lot of fighters would have taken a lot of L's based off of some of those things. But they didn't. You know why? Because that's not how boxing works. So I really, if anybody needs a boxing lesson, and just by happen to be anywhere near Dallas, I have no problem showing up if anybody has any questions about that. And I can spar you for multiple rounds, maybe 3 at best. Well, if you ain't nobody, I can spar you for more than 3 rounds. I probably beat your ass. If you ain't nobody, I can beat your ass for 10. But if you somebody, I got 3. I always keep 4 in the bank. I'm gonna keep 4 in the bank. But I can spar you 10 different ways in 10 different rounds and show you why all of those 10 different ways work. That's it.
I'm glad my sparring day is over.
Yeah, you think, bitch.
That shit sucked.
I wasn't that bad. I gave you the shield.
Not knowing that the buzzer had a 1 minute warning was the bad part, because I thought I had 10 seconds left, and 10 seconds later I'm still in the.
Nah, brother, you had a whole 30 left. But at least you had the body shield on.
Did you want me to come back?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, you're right. That's a good point. That's a good point. I ain't want no beef in the midst, because she so threatened me too. She did. Nonetheless, appreciate y'all chopping it up with us. Like I said, Friday, Fulham back. Saturday, Plant Resendez, Charlo Lamana. Tune in to those fights. And then we'll catch y'all back after the fights and see what happens. So have a good one. I'm Foreman.
When?
This is episode of Pay the Toll Box. Have a good one, folks.